Right. Let me just turn this off. You don't need the.
Yeah, we don't need this distraction. Yeah, since I'm here, you can just look at me and we'll have a conversation and we just ignore everyone else. Okay, would you like to say just take 5-10 minutes? So I teach you a little bit of meditation. And hopefully you will find it useful and you can do it for yourself on a daily basis. Okay. Well, first, let me just explain a few things about meditation. Generally, people are focused on the form. How you sit, how you cross your leg, whether you focus attention, must be this and that, and then there will be debates over full lotus, half lotus, on chair, off chair, that kind of things. The form is not important. I'm just telling you. The form in itself, not that important. What is important is setting the right conditions for mindfulness and eventually samadhi to arise. I know I use my first Pali word. So my passport to use some Pali words. I repeat, what you need is to know the conditions that you need to put in place for mindfulness and samadhi to arise. Because when you say meditation, essentially we are looking at settling the mind, keeping the mind calm, peaceful, and focused, attentive, sharp enough. I'm using a lot of adjective, but that's the idea. The idea of meditation is to ease the mind into a particular state where the following qualities are present: lightness, joy, focus, attentive, mindful. You think of all the words that people use when they say meditation. Actually, those are mental states that will arise when your mind is into samadhi. So the word samadhi means stillness. Okay. Meditation is not a form. Meditation intent is to hit a state of mind. That state of mind we call stillness, samadhi. Okay. If you sit and you try and quiet a thought and you focus on the breathing and it doesn't work, and most times it wouldn't work, it's because they don't understand and they didn't set, they don't understand and they didn't put in place, they didn't set the condition for this state of samadhi to arise. Okay? So what are these conditions that you need? I want to stress this. There are two fundamental conditions. One, especially if you're a beginner. Because I'm also distracted. Look at me.
You don't feel hot.
You would like to turn on the...
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not on.
Oh, okay.
Somehow it got turned off.
Oh,
I don't know
sorry,
why.
we're talking about aircon.
I think it's on. But anyway, back to what you're saying.
So you will need two sets of condition to ease into samadhi. Okay, from henceforth, I'm not using meditation, I'll use the word samadhi. It's a mental state. This mental state, samadhi, has other mental states. When these all mental states come together, the stillness happens. That's the meditation we talk about. Okay. In order to get there, you need two things. You need one. Let's see. One, you will need seclusion. Because you're new. If you're very experienced, when you're very experienced, you don't need seclusion anymore. You basically need a space where you are not disturbed. that you are not constantly being distracted by things out there. Okay, that's the first one. But the second one, even more important and completely non-negotiable. You don't have the second one, it's never going to work. You can sit for 1 hour and nothing's going to work. And the second one is what we call wholesome mental states. The reason why people struggle with meditation is because the mind, their instincts are not wholesome enough. What is wholesome? Kindness, law? Patience? If you have faith, if you have, but if you're new, we got faith, the other faith, right? So very hard. But you have kindness, you have friendliness, you have gratitude. These are powerful mental states. So you want to start by telling yourself, I'm very fortunate to be a human in this life, so I get a chance to cultivate my mind and do better. I'm very fortunate that I'm intelligent and I can study and I can do things so that I can help others around me. I am very fortunate. So you talk about the gratitude is one way to do it, but you need all these little words, these narratives. Meditation or samadhi has nothing to do with emptying your mind of thoughts. At the start point, that's not possible. So that's the reason why people struggle. The start point, you want to talk wholesomely as a reminder. I'm just sitting down here. I'm just calming down the mind. I'm just relaxing. And I'll spend the next 5 minutes watching my breathing. Something like that. So that one, no stress, right? Not stressful, just relax. And it will help. So you set in mind conditions that will help your body to settle down. I know I'm talking about meditation instead of going into your Eightfold path, which is the reason why you're here. But this is important because without doing some meditation, you're never going to see the path properly. So it is necessary to learn a little bit of this meditation method. You want to go into it further, you have to come for my classes outside. Today, I'll just give you this tip so that on your own, you want to do a bit. This is what you do. You relax, make sure your body is very relaxed. So if you need to sit and lean against something, go ahead. Okay. You don't want to lie down when you are new, because when you lie down and you're new to this, oh, you will sleep so fast. You cannot believe it. So nice little upright, relax, feel the body. We're using the body to calm the mind. So your body go deep breathing, breathe out slowly. As doctors to be, this helps physiologically, it helps the body to calm down. Deep in, breathe out slowly, another deep in, breathe out slowly. Need one more? Go ahead. So when you do that, the body starts to feel good, feels shook a bit. Good to go. Then you relax. Now you look at this body first. Observe the body. Feel your breathing here. Can do it, right? Now you can all do it. You can feel this body pulsating. If you can feel your body pulsating, actually, your mind is spiraling into stillness already. That's how you slide. Then once you slide there, you just watch this breathing gently. That's all. Nothing so complicated. Set the right conditions, your mind will just ease into this quiet. Suddenly you become more aware of that breathing. Suddenly you become more aware that actually it's really peaceful just watching this breathing. That's samadhi. So easy, man. That's how everybody struggle because people focus on the wrong thing. They focus on how you sit, on the form of it, how you sit, cross-legged, must be here, empty your mind of thoughts. It's all salah. All these are not important. The important part is make sure not so noisy when you're new, not so noisy, be quiet so that the attention can go inwards. Secondly, have the mind softer, gentler. But how do you get the mind softer and gentler? Focus on the body. Use the body to calm the mind down. Body and mind get synergy. So use the body to calm the mind down, feel yourself relax. Even now, the few of you are already watching your breathing. I'm not sure why, but yeah, it's kind of settling down, isn't it? It's a certain calmness, a certain peace. It is just like that. Okay, now we go into your Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path. I want to get a sense, just a sense from you. What do you know about the Noble Eightfold Path? Some idea, anything? What comes off the top of your head? What do you think about when you hear the word Noble Eightfold Path?
Team and yeah, I think they don't know.
It's okay. You don't know, you don't know. It's okay.
So they are here to learn.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But you have some ideas? Any idea?
It's awkward.
I'm not looking for the right answer. Hello. I'm not looking for the right answer. I'm looking to get a sense of what do you know and what more I need to supplement. Okay. If most of you are hitting it right, I can move on to a little bit deeper, taking it to a different level. But if most of you say the Buddha's teaching, okay, I got it. We have to start from basic. Give me a sense of it.
I don't know anything, so
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
that's why.
I think is it like, some eight attitudes or like values that are conducive to like, how people.
That's a pretty good step. It's a pretty good step. Hold that thought. Okay. Any more ideas? Eightfold Path.
Steps like the solution, to remove or creating, or the solution to
You see, can you step very well, stepping very well. Okay, very good. Any more? Any more ideas? It's okay. As I said, it's okay if you don't know. You're not here to tell me the right answer anyway. I just want a sense of, hello, hello. We got an extra person to help you do recording. Okay. Sometimes it is helpful to explain. Sometimes it is helpful to explain something by, not so much by what it is supposed to do. First, I start off by saying, by referring you to something you are familiar with. And then from what you are familiar with, I take you to what you are not familiar with, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay. What are we familiar with? First, I need you to understand that the Dhamma is not just formula. It is Dhamma actually, so many ways to cut it, but I will cut it like this. The Dhamma is the Buddha's explanation of your mind, how it works. So it does describe, aspects of it will describe your regular mind, the everyday, average daily mind. And it also will explain the enlightened mind. What is different about that mind? Okay. Ultimately, the Dhamma is a fixer. It's supposed to fix something. The Dhamma is to fix something. What is it fixing? It's actually fixing the fact that we all experience dukkha. The word dukkha has been translated as suffering. The idea here is life is not easy. In a very simple way, you got to earn your keep, you form a family, you got to work with people, you got to handle relationship, earn a living, etc., etc. If you really sit down and talk about the challenges of life, you can write rims. Life is not easy. But we typically don't realize that, because typically we live with plans and dreams and hopes. We will say, okay, right now ain't great, but not to worry, tomorrow will be better. Down the line, it'll be better. So by focusing not on here and now, but by focusing on the ideas that you have, the plans that you make, by focusing on that, we can mask dukkha. Okay, we are effectively, all of us are effectively living in la la land because we live in a world of make-believes. Half the time we are playing. So, oh, I am so agitated. Never mind, I look forward to my holiday. Oh, work is so difficult. Why did I choose this course? It's okay. 6 more months to go. Something like that. We have grown up. How did this even happen? Because when we were young, every time you cry, what the parents don't say, watch your tears, right? See your tears, see the pain. No, your parents will say, hello, hello. You bring out a doll, a toy, bring out sweets. The parents will introduce something into the equation to distract you. So we grow up saying, when you have pain, you distract yourself. Then how do you distract yourself? By all the tools available. Gaming lah, talking lah, eating lah, and of course, Steve Jobs' greatest contribution, smart devices. This is a great distractor. You don't believe me? TikTok is the greatest of this distractor, right? So in effect, we distract ourselves from reality as it really is. So you say, Buddha says, so see reality as it is. Reality as it really is. That life is not easy. And this, I am talking about it superficially. This is superficial. I haven't even gone deep into the Dhamma. At its most superficial level, life is indeed difficult, but by the distraction, the distractors or the distraction tools that we have, we can mask all these dukkha, all this pain, and happily continue to live in la la land until one ginormous pain comes shooting your way and the masking couldn't work. This is where people get into trouble because they have no other tools to tackle the pains, the strains. So what are these huge boomerangs? It will be the boomerangs where you cannot change the thing. You're completely helpless. Illness, old age, dying. These are the ones you have zero tool to overcome. You've got to just live with it. Agree? And this is when people will either need medicine or see psychiatrist, suddenly got business. Or who is it that is you're suddenly you're psychologist, right? One part of it, yeah. This is where people will say, oh, I'm lost, I don't know what to do. And they make a whole industry out of curing it. Okay. Or at least getting a grip of it. Okay. So this key component that the Buddha talks about, there is dukkha, the noble truth of dukkha. It's a truism. But because people are so distracted, they will say, Buddha so morbid, talk about dukkha, so morbid. But that's a fact. That is a reality. And but that's not the end. That's not what is this all about. You see, I needed to introduce this to you is because when you talk about the Eightfold Path, the intent of the Eightfold Path, it is one of different tools. By the way, it's not the only one. It's one of different frames. It's a frame. It's a mental health management frame, if you like, using modern day words. It's a frame, it's a training frame to rewire your brain such that it can, one, enable you to see reality for what it is, but in a way that you don't crumble in the process. I repeat, the Eightfold Path, it's fundamentally a training frame. It's a rewiring frame. It's to rewire your brain, okay? And to rewire it such that you can see reality, mind's reality, because what you know of the reality is experienced through your mind anyway. The reality for what it is without you crumbling. Because remember what I said earlier, if you don't have all these distractors, you will suddenly be so overwhelmed by life. If let's say, I'll give you an example by a distractor. You're walking your loved ones to the airport. Loved one is going to go through the door. Then he's going to say bye-bye, bye-bye. At that point, you're very sad, right? How do you distract yourself? You tell me.
He's gonna come back soon.
He's going to come back soon. Excellent. What else? Or I'm going to join him soon. So you in your mind, you narrow the absence, the separation. Okay. What else? I can call him and talk to him. Or he's going to buy me present. He's going to buy me present. So on the idea of the present, you're very happy. So every time oh, he's so weak. Present. Okay, there. We are masters at faking, at make-believes. So imagine if you now want to strip away the distractors and you're just going to see reality. You talk about seeing reality for what it is. Welcome to the girl world, because that's the reality. Okay? There's so much to say there, but I don't want to get distracted. I get distracted. I'll just ramble off a different track. Okay. So the Eightfold Path, the intent is to help you rewire, repeat, to rewire your brain so that you can see reality for what it really is, but in a way that you are still steady and committed and you will continue this journey. So what's the end game? The end game is what someone said about the lifting of craving, right? The end game is actually about liberation, mental liberation, okay? So what has liberation got to do with craving? Now, let me ask you, just as a sample, so you understand what I'm saying. You suddenly think, I want all of you to think of a food that you love, anything, a dish that you love. So you think of a dish. Some of you who haven't taken your dinner will say, afterwards I could try that dish. Then now I want you to stop thinking of that dish. It's very hard. In fact, the more you try to stop, the more the system says, let's go. Where is that market that still opens and sells this dish? You see that? It's a compulsion. But the day that you no longer are obsessed about that dish is the day the dish has no more hold over you. Get it? So as long as there's something you want, you are not liberated. You are shackled. The thought in itself will bring up the shackles. You don't think about it, nothing happens. The moment your mind strays there, it is shackled. It's going there. So craving for anything is a shackle. That's how it works. Then how not to have craving? That's where the Eightfold Path comes in now. Okay. And the Eightfold Path, now I explain a little bit more. The Eightfold Path has 3 components, broadly. If you cannot remember all 8, it's okay. Anywhere you go in, I told you there's more than one training framework. Eightfold Path is one of them. For those of you who are familiar, there will be 5 faculties, the 5 powers, 7 factors, and like that. All these are terms that are used, but they are training frameworks. Okay. And all the training framework must have 3 components. In different proportion, in different ways, they will explain it, but there will be 3 components. There is what we call wisdom. There is the word sila, and it's been translated as morality. Okay, you're very familiar. I presume you are somewhat familiar. I repeat, there are 3 components in the Eightfold Path, or in any of the training frameworks, there will be 3 components. Wisdom, morality. And why did you morality? Because it's not a concept. There are deeper dives which we'll go into. And the third one is called stillness, samadhi, which is the word I used earlier. Samadhi. stillness, or not very well translated as concentration. What else did they translate it? Meditation,
Concentration is most of the translation.
correct. But it's not a good translation. It's not a good translation. The word samadhi actually means stillness, calm down, a mind so sharp it can see. Okay, so there are these three components. At the very start for yourself, you're very, very new. Actually, when you're very, very new, you don't talk about Eightfold Paths. When you're very, very new, we have to first deal with the precepts. So morality is about avoiding bad, evil, doing good, purifying mind. That's the morality we talk about. That's the sila that we talk about. S-I-L-A, for those of you taking notes. But of course, nobody is. It's okay. S-I-L-A, morality. Okay. And morality as a baseline, like start point, don't have this baseline, you're not even on the path. Okay. As a start point is your 5 precepts. And that one, it's basically saying, I will avoid hurting others and hurting myself, the process. Avoid hurting others on the big scale. So killing, stealing, these are the big scales. And we don't stop there because that's avoiding evil. Got to do good. So from not killing to saving, and you guys are well placed to do that when you graduate. Okay. Saving, don't charge too much in the process. Okay. Saving or honoring lives, respectful of lives. From not stealing to giving and sharing. Avoid evil, do good, okay? From not having sexual misconduct to being true to relationship, caring for another. From not lying to being upright and always leaning towards truth as much as you can. Because truth sometimes is, without knowing, you're not sure, it's some fuzziness, sometimes you blurt out the wrong thing. So we are going for truth and being upright. From not taking intoxicants, which usually affects yourself, to trying to keep this mind clear, focus, clarity. Okay, that's a baseline. But at a much deeper level, it's then comes, you know, your Eightfold Path has this speech, action, livelihood. That's your sila. That 3, it's the sila part of the house. And for that one, the right speech is not just about lying. It's about right speech. Right speech means pleasant, kind, beneficial, timely type of speeches. It goes into that level. So Buddha usually talks about the 4 wrong speeches. Lying is one of which, okay? Then there is harsh speech. Spoken in the sweetest of tone is still harsh speech. Wow, you look like that today. Nothing wrong because it's said so nicely, so gently, but we all can read between the lines, right? Like, it's fierce, man. And then it causes, that kind of words will cause people to, so for those who are sensitive, disintegrate. So kind speech, and this is not terribly useful, right? So therefore, wrong speech must be useful, okay? Useful, beneficial, spoken kindly with thoughtfulness. The other one is, this is harsh speech. And then Pisuna Vacha is, it's been translated as slandering people. But you know, it's wrong speech, which means it happens all the time. Then why, we don't go around slandering people, do we? Yes, we do. Let me tell you a secret, that kind, or I don't know what's wrong with her. So you tell somebody and you complain about someone, you mean you complain so that they can get closer? No, you complain so that this person that you are complaining to will take your side. If the person is taking your side, the person is not taking that side. The result of which is you're driving a wedge between whoever and your listener. You get it? So the slandering is when you talk bad about people. Sometimes you talk bad deliberately with the intent of gaining public support. But sometimes you're talking bad because you're just venting, right? I'm venting. You're not doing anything more than I'm venting. But unfortunately, that's also wrong speech. So you want to practice true to the path, you end up not talking very much. But then you say, why so hard, right? Why so difficult? Because without your mind being wholesome, the meditation, now used loosely, the meditation can't go. But when your mind is wholesome, when your speech is kind, and the speech is a reflection of what's in your mind is kind, your mind is peaceful. Then when you sit, all you need to do is watch the breathing and the mind goes like that. The stillness will come like that, like that, like that. That's how fast it is. So if you just sit half there, again, 20 minutes to try and still the mind, actually it means your wholesome mental state is not strong enough. The kindness, the joy, the lightness, not strong. It's not, you're not a bad person. Not at all. You're a regular person. And the regular person gets agitated easily. That's all. So if anger and stress and agitation is so much a part of your habits, then the sitting will take a while to settle. That's why it takes longer for the mind to go still. Okay, so that's action and that's speech and then livelihood. Because you're going to spend a lot of your time on what you are doing, right? Earning the money. You get into the wrong livelihood, the mind's going to be disturbed. When the mind is disturbed, sitting is hard. And then you may ask, why you're always talking about morality and sitting? Because you're asking me about Noble Eightfold Path, right? Noble Eightfold Path is a practitioner path. The intent is for enlightenment, not just for a happier lay life. It is for enlightenment. For enlightenment to happen, you will need some degree of samadhi. Without that samadhi, the mind cannot spot, cannot see, catch in real time. I repeat, to catch in real time the dynamics and the inner workings of the mind. For enlightenment to happen, you have to be able to catch your own drivers, the mind's driver, your craving, your desires, your anxiety, the stresses, the attachments. You have to catch what is the mind attached to? What is the mind chasing? You will increase your self-awareness. Self-awareness. You will increase your inner drive, your understanding of your own inner drivers. So some of your best practitioners can anytime go out there and teach empathy and leadership qualities. Sure. Because self-awareness is sharp. Okay? If you're training your mind, yourself, to become more aware of your own drivers, your inner drivers. What are your triggers? Why do you get agitated so fast? Why does it take you so long to calm down? Why that particular item is your trigger, etc., etc., etc. All these understanding of your workings of the mind all falls under samadhi. So samadhi is not just about sitting there like a mock tower, like a log of wood. Done. It is not about that. The intent really is to polish that skill to observe in real time your inner drivers. Okay, so under samadhi has three components for Eightfold Path. For Eightfold Path category, samadhi has three components. It's called right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi, concentration or meditation. I like stillness. Okay, I repeat, under samadhi has 3 components of the Eightfold Path, 3 components. Just now the sila has 3 also, right? Speech, action, livelihood. Now for this one, also 3 components. Effort, mindfulness, samadhi. Okay. Under effort, it is about, so as you sharpen your attention, your attentive power, you become very aware of whether in your mind you lean towards unwholesome or wholesome mental states. Whether it's unwholesome or wholesome. Okay, let's do a little experiment just for the heck of it. I want all of you to think. Now, here and now, I want you to recall, recall a person's face. Not one. Anyone else? Okay, recall. Okay. Next, I want you to recall an incident. What kind of incident? Any incident, anything. Just recall it. I want you to recall anything. So first one is a person, face. Second one is an incident. Now is anything. Just recall anything. Whatever pops up. All managed to do? Okay. No need to tell me the answer. I want you to take a look at the 3 things that your memory bank pull out. 3 things that you pull out. You ask yourself, are they positive things or negative things? Positive means something when you think of it, it gives you a smile. You think of it, it makes you feel happier. Is it positive or is it negative? There's a madness to the exercise. If you find that all 3 are positive, sense-based. So recall something, my video game. Recall something, video game. Recall something, oh, my best friend who plays video game with me. Something like that. That's your pattern. This is how your mind jumps onto a pattern. Okay. If you find that every time you do this, it's the same face and it brings you pain. It's the same face or same people or the same event, but it brings you pain. You will know that your mind leans towards kusala, unwholesome, because it brings you pain. Whatever brings you pain means you have a desire for it. If you have a desire for it, it has to be akusala. Aku, salah. Okay? It has to be unwholesome, unskillful. If you think, and then your mind instinctively think of something, you think of a monk. Think of something, you think of the Dhamma. You think of something, you think of something this way, then actually you are leaning towards the Dhamma already in a big way. Do you think of something? I think of my quest. You think of something? I think of the visit I made to the temple or something like that. When your mind leans that way, you know your natural instinct is to lean towards spirituality or whatever. Think of something, my homework. Think of something, my patient. Your mind is obsessed about your work. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, all these will have an impact on your mental health. They will have. Okay? And in the practice, because this is part of samadhi, right? I told you, right effort, right mindfulness, right samadhi. This is part of samadhi. Whatever your mind leans towards, it better be wholesome. Because if it leans towards the wholesome again and again and again, you sit, the mind will go still. If it leans towards play and fun and boredom and one of those things, then congratulations. The next half an hour, you're going to hang out there and try very, very hard and then be somewhat distracted. It's almost as if you got half an hour of ruminating all over the place. Okay? They have to come for classes and learn better. Anyhow, 2 sets. Sila, Samadhi. Then the third one, Panya. So usually when people talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, they will start with Panya, wisdom, the wisdom component. Then why did you start with Sila, morality, and Samadhi? Because you are new. It's really because this is a new group. I talk about wisdom, it's going to be a little bit harder. But I talk about morality and I talk about Samadhi, stillness. For you, it's like, okay, I get it. I can follow these two. And they are important to get you to wisdom. So wisdom is a really tricky one. When we talk about what did the Buddha teach, usually they will focus on this one. Right view, right. Translated as thought, intention, right intention, right leaning of the mind leaning in a certain way. Okay, now so we go to right view first. I said earlier that I like to sometimes comes from the angle of people with something that they're more familiar with, to try and take you to where the Dhamma is, right? Right at the start, I said it that way. But then I didn't seem to go there. I kind of went into areas that you're familiar with. This is when we're going there. Okay? How you see the world, how you react to the world, what you prioritizes, who you choose to associate, the choices that you make. The choices that you make, whether it's short-term, tactical, simple, straightforward choices, or the longer term ones. Which course do I take? Which hospital do I serve at? Whom do I settle down with? Those are the big strategic ones. All these choices that you make have to be filtered through your internal lenses, right? Your dialogue. Okay. You understand this part, right? So I want you to sit back and you say, just recall it. See what you can. I asked you earlier, why did you choose the Dhamma? Why did you choose to come into the Dhamma? Earlier on, we had that conversation before the rest of you came. We were having this conversation in the first row. Why did you come to the Dhamma? So you say, oh, because my family is in it, I want to know a little bit more. I have been exploring for a while, la 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 la. But all these decisions, these are big decisions, it's going to affect your life. It can affect your life. All those decisions came from somewhere, right? Came from a perspective. Came from some ideas that you had. Correct? Those ideas, those perspectives that you had, they are your lens. The assumptions that you have, the perspective that you take, right? That lens is right view. It's the first of the wisdom tag, which the Buddha called ditti. I use Pali words when the English words are insufficient. So the word ditti, never heard of this word. It's okay. Let me explain. It's been translated as right understanding, right perspective, right view, right understanding, right view. What else? I'm the one who introduced right perspective. Usually it's translated like this. But the word understanding and the word view, they're very different. Right? If you're new, you may ask, these two words are very different. How am I supposed to understand that word? Understanding, view, whatever the word that you ditti, is essentially your inner lens, your frame of reference, your frame, your perception of the world. your start point. So whatever that you hear, whoever you associate with, whatever choices that you make, they all must be filtered through a brain trust. It's like a brain trust. And this brain trust has view. Agree? This sounds silly. It has a view. That makes sense. It has a view, right? That's the one. And the Buddha is saying you have to come from the right view, the right perspective, the right frame, the right assumption, the right sets of thinking. You have to steer it right. Because the regular mind, habits and instincts are flawed. You get it? Okay. Because the regular mind's instincts and view, DT, the regular mind's DT is flawed. I didn't say wrong, I say flawed, but it assumes it's wrong. Flawed. Let me explain why. We all work on the assumption, right, that we will be around tomorrow, correct? Does anybody go to bed at night saying, tomorrow I will not wake up? That's a weird way to think about things. Agree? Like, of course, we all go to bed thinking we'll be awake tomorrow. But I tell you why it's flawed. We do know of deaths that happen suddenly, unexpectedly, right? So actually, you say, oh, I work on statistic. Yeah, but you can be the special case, right? Agree, You understand? Yeah, I know what you're saying, sister. I know what you're saying, but what are the odds? I know you're playing odds. But you see, from the assumption that you'll still be around, you make all your choices and plans. And we make our dreams all the way to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. Correct? We make our plans in that way, not just tomorrow. I mean, who doesn't plan for their vacation? Which is, the odds are not happening tomorrow. And the odds are being Chinese. It could happen during the Chinese New Year period, or it may not be because you have to be around, whatever. Why is this even an issue? Because if you work under a different premise, you work under a different set of assumption, the choices you make will be very different. If you had been diagnosed with just weeks and months left, the choices you make will be the same as the choices you make now? No. Agree? And because we live in a la-la land where we will be around tomorrow, then the assumption, no, not the assumption, what's that word? It's not assumption, your conclusion. Yeah, and it's a reasonable deduction. See? There's no great leap of logic. If I'm going to be awake tomorrow, I'm going to be around tomorrow, and tomorrow will never come, therefore, ergo, you are going to live forever. Immortality. Can you follow my logic here? If every night you go to bed saying, I will wake up tomorrow, what are the odds? There is a certain part of you that assumes immortality. Agree? Even patients with days left will give you breakfast order. Because it is an assumption, having lived so long, what's one more day? Agree? This is a flaw. This particular perspective, view is flawed. Objectively, no one knows when the end hits. We only make assumptions, but this assumption has an inherent flaw. Agree? You understand that? So he said the Buddhist right view, one of the component is about impermanence, right? You all know Buddha always talk about impermanence. This impermanence is about mortality. But generally, people may not, they did think about, oh, impermanence, true, 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 impermanence, true, true, true. Of course it's impermanent. But no, you don't get it. One aspect of impermanence is mortality. The second aspect of impermanence is now it's over. What? The moment you know it's past already. So your feeling, your emotions, your perception, your thinking process, it keeps flipping. There is no now per se. Now it's over. It keeps going, right? But we don't pay attention to that either. We don't clock passing time. We don't clock passing lives. We don't. We exist, but we are not aware of reality. Because in the moment when you exist, you're planning, you're thinking, you're recalling, you're having a review of your video of life again and again. And so you have wasted all this time in our dreamland. Now, why is this even significant? Because all too soon it's over. And we could have wasted one life. Why are we wasting one life? You so sure you come back as human next life, man? Is there such a thing, a rebirth? Yes, but it's okay if you don't believe. But if it's true, and I know it's true, but if it's true, then you just wasted a life. It's like, I like to tease, sometimes I tease the people saying, you know, if your child is going, if you're going to take exam and the teacher says to you, a lecturer said, I'm going to give you a surprise test, but I'm not going to tell you when. But this is going to count for the bulk of your marks, your grade at the end of the year. Then you go home and tell your parents. What would the parents say? Hello? And this is only exam, which is may or may not be significant. It's not a big deal, right? In the course of life, exam is just one exam. Death is the same, huh? You just don't know when death will come. And then we went, it's okay, what? It won't come tomorrow. Would you take that cavalier attitude when it comes to test and exam? You don't. But why is it when it comes to death, we do? Because the impact is drastic. And it's not just us, it's the people around us. Having that clarity and awakening, you're awakened to this. Having that clarity will cause you to make choices more wisely. Do you understand? So this is part of the training method. Remember, the Eightfold Path is training and rewiring the mind. Just remember that it's training and rewiring the mind. So one of the rewiring you have to do is to rewire your perspective. You continue to live in the la-la land, you continue to make all kinds of funny decisions, you will continue to just live life like that, then it's over. Done. But you want life to have meaning. It has to be done with wisdom. By choice. Choose it in such a way that you learn to rewire this guy such that it's a lighter, happier mind. Does the Eightfold Path do that? Yes. You practice it with right understanding. So this is the first one. You practice it with right understanding. You rewire it with understanding and wisdom. It will lead you to become wiser and happier. Okay? It will help you to get there. For sure. Money back guarantee. For sure. Okay? And this is just one of the lens that you need to switch to at least cause it to become not so thick and myopic. You want this particular lens about mortality and impermanence. You want this lens to shake. And it's the first one. There are others. And so when the Buddha says impermanence, dukkha, the second lens is dukkha. And the third one is anatta, which is the hardest to explain, and I'm not prepared to do it here. You have to come for the other classes. Because it takes a while to get you there. I can tell you to go back and start thinking about death, right? And you still will struggle with it. You will struggle with it. Because the mind is so wired to see life from a certain angle, it's so hard to change the lens. Then why do we have to change all this? And you have to change all these lenses to get you the incentivizes. Oh, I love this economic word. Incentivizes you. You have to change the lens so it gives you the incentive to change your behavior. You change your behavior so that the mind, because behavior and neuroscience, you guys would know better than I, right? Your behavior will rewire your brain. With the rewiring will help you to understand what you're doing better, and then it continues. Okay, that's how it works. If indeed you have the right view, typically when you hear the word right view, they will say, right view, Four Noble Truths. You heard of that before, right? Right view. Right view means having the Four Noble Truths. Okay. Again, a very long lecture on its own. But what it means, let's just take it from the daily life, okay? From this angle. Let me ask you, is it fair to say that generally people will think that having you need to strive to get ahead, you need to strive to do better, striving and getting stuff. Some will go as far as to say that I want to earn my first million before I hit 30 years old, or own my own house at some point. All these material pursuits. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying that the regular person perceives acquisition and achievement as a proxy for happiness. Fair? Is that a fair point? I repeat, acquisition. So buy this, buy that, buy house, buy car, buy that, acquisition and achievements, recognition, promotion, etc., etc. All these lead to me being happy. Is that a fair point? No, I'm talking about a regular person.
Am I irregular?
I don't know, are you? So how would a regular person think? You tell me. I agree. So you have wisdom. But if your auntie, uncle, the fellow sitting next to you on a bus, on an MRT, or your fellow classmates, would you say that they will say, yeah, get the grade, get the posting you want, get the professor you like, get to improve this, that, and other? Would you say that, growth? Would you say that? Is that a fair assumption?
Human condition to want.
Correct. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, this is your view, ma. You will find the odd individual who say, no, I opt out. I opt out of this rat race. He may be the wiser. But there will be people who say, what the silly, 33 years old, you want to retire? Let's talk about early retirement. What will people retire early? Do you think about retiring early? Wrong question to ask. You're too young. No. Would you think about retiring early?
Definition of retirement.
Very good.
To work for money.
Hello, you work. There you are. I got to work for money. Meaning to say that there is a certain assumptions that living a lay life entails lah. And we tend to have that. Like, okay, more money. Sometimes you say more money means happiness. Sometimes you say, I get all these things, I'm happy. All I want is a good husband or a good wife, and a great husband or a great wife, and then some quite children. Okay, I must inject this pro-procreation policy thing, right? And I must have this, and right. And so you have people who say, having a child, yeah, hope for the future, that kind of thing. There's nothing right or wrong. That's just the way the mind works. There is nothing right. I'm not judging this. I'm just saying that's a natural state. But the problem is what we may not realize is whatever we want, there in the one sits a stress. Whatever that you want, whatever that you seek, even seeking the Dhamma. I want the Dhamma. I want to understand Buddhism. I want to have meditation. I want to meditate like my mom. I want to meditate. I want to do this. I want to achieve that. You know how painful? As long as there is a wanting, there is pain. Actually, that's the noble truth. Okay, we don't have to go into such complication. The noble truth, the first one say there is dukkha, suffering, pain, agitation, stress, whatever words that you use. There is that. There is this because the processes of life, the milestones of life, being born, falling sick, growing old, dying, that in itself carries its own condition of pain. It's a natural state. It's just the way it is. To be born means you will die. But you see, the more we love, the more people will die around us, assuming that you have a long life. So long life, great, but you see a lot of deaths. Not so great. Worse, you see a lot of growing old, a lot of falling sick. The more love people you have in your life, the more you got to deal with that. That's just the way it is. It's a depressing thought, but that is reality. Then the second set is to get to be separated from whatever you desire, or to be stuck with something you don't want. In that is pain. Also true. To want things, any form of wants, is true and it's painful. In short, the 5 aggregates. Okay, again, I introduced a new concept, but that's how he described a regular person. Going deeper into Dhamma, I'll teach you the rest. The 5 aggregates is painful. That's a truism. That's just the way things are. And we have all these pain because there are all these wanting. So he divided them into the different types of seeking and wanting. We have the wanting of what I call the world out there. So beautiful sights or ugly ones we don't want. Lovely sound, beautiful music, squeaking noises we don't want. Lovely smell, aroma, the stench we don't want. The taste, good taste, agreeable taste we want. The other type we don't want. And it goes on. This is the external world. Your sense basis touching the external world. Then there is the inner world, the world of the thoughts. The thoughts are the ones which you keep replaying. You replay the ones you want. You want to stop remembering the ones you don't want. There are all these inner worlds replaying. Okay? These are the essence of the chase, the chasings, the chases, the pursuits, the seeking, the desire, the attachment that we have. So because of that, life is painful. Life is painful because of craving. If you have no craving, no pain. But how to live a life with no craving? Then they say, this is where the Eightfold Path comes in. So this is what it means. The Eightfold Path is to solve a problem, is to tackle a problem of craving, but it has to rewire the brain so that you are willing to try and moderate and be more content. The regular mind instinctively is not content. Again, not right or wrong. It's a habit. We are simply not content because there is a perception to be content. In fact, I've been asked this question time and again. Is the contentment steady? Then how the world progress? I asked the question for you. And my reply is, you can chase, you can seek, You're still running around in this wheel, but you must know you got to pay the poison. You have to pay the price. You can seek, you can chase, it's the natural habit. But when you do that, you'll pay the price, which is the pain, the stress. You have nothing, you seek, no stress. You have seeking going on, stressful. It's just, it is. Pay the price. Okay? Then there are the seeking that is beneficial. I say there are certain search and chasing which are beneficial in the long run. But are there the ones that are not beneficial and just cause you needless pain, short term, long term? So for instance, if you are seeking la boo boo, you laugh at me, but you know a lot of people seek la boo boo, right? Those seekings are not terribly useful, but it's okay. It gives you a shot of what? Dopamine. Boom, you get it, then you're happy. Go get some more, go get some more. Actually, your chemicals are pulling you by the nose. This is pulling us by the nose. The chemicals are doing it. Whether it's dopamine or endorphin or I don't know what else, serotonin, whatever it is, you guys know better. But in a room of people who know, I must cut short the amount of things I say. But you know what I mean? The chemicals drive you. And these are not the helpful types because it will only feed the addiction. But there are the ones that are helpful. For instance, settling the mind, keeping it quiet, resting in this breathing, that's helpful because that will calm the mind down. It is not addictive. It will calm this mind down and buy you a little bit of time to say, it's okay. Life is hard, but it's okay. I can take this. That's why you need the meditation, the samadhi. The samadhi makes the path, this effort of rewiring, the samadhi makes it bearable. The samadhi will feed you with enough good, feel-good chemicals to keep you going on this path, this rewiring process. Samadhi will help you with that. So this particular is the one that helps. And seeking Dhamma, learning to understand your software operating system, learning to understand that you don't understand, you can't fix it properly. But the more you understand, the better you are to handle the challenges coming from in here. That seeking is helpful, is beneficial. Okay, so the Labubu one, not so good. The Dhamma one, the learning to calm the mind, peaceful, doing good, helping others, that kind of seeking, better because it will give you peace. It will give you a bit of joy. It gives you that joy that is not addictive. I keep saying this word, it's not addictive. Okay, so that. Oh, and finally, the last one, I've mentioned 7, the last one. So wisdom has 2 parts. Am I still got time? Wisdom has 2 parts. Oh, it's supposed to end at 9, is it? Okay.
But
No, I'm not in a rush at all. I have the whole night. But they are in a rush. Wait, I haven't finished yet. It's got 1 more to go. Yeah, one more. So you see, there's 8, right? So we have 3 for morality, 3 for samadhi. Remember? Now got 2 more. One is right view, and the last one, right thought. Translated as right thought. Some have translated as right intention. Intention and thought are very different. Yes, actually, it is an upstream thing. It's leaning. Because you hold the right view, they go together. Because you hold the right view, your mind will lean towards moderation and contentment, right? When you perceive that you will be happy, if you perceive like this, if you perceive that happiness is when you achieve something or when you get something, if that is your perception, then your natural leaning, natural instinct is to chase, to get, to strategize, to get what you want. If your perception is, It's okay to get to have ambitions, but let's not get carried away. If this is where your start point is, then in your daily life, the choices you make is, I don't need to seek out the hardest of the posting where I might shine, but I will also die. I will seek out posting that gives me a little bit more balanced life. Something like that. I'm not saying that this is the right thing. I'm just saying, depending on how you see things, and then it affects your values and your priorities, you will make your choices. If your view and your understanding of the Dhamma is very strong and it's correct, on track, you will find yourself saying, it's okay, I don't need this. Moderation. I will still have ambition. I cannot survive and retire happily without having some ambition. But I knew when to say, I'm done. I don't need this. Don't promote me anymore. I don't need this. This level, I'm good. Of course, I didn't say this at 35. Say this much older. Okay? And this is your choice. You learn on your own. You decide where your threshold is. And then you have that moderation, you have that balance. So the first of the right thought or the right intention, the first one is actually, the word is translated as renunciation, but it's too big a word. It's actually putting down. It's okay. It's okay. That's the idea. You learn moderation. You learn to put down. I repeat, the translation is renunciation, relinquishing. That's the translation. But at the highest level, that's what will happen. They renounce their lay life, right? At the highest level, they renounce their lay life, they renounce their properties, their assets and all, and they choose to go into a life of nothing. That's them. That's a sangha. That's the monk. But for the rest of us, we will have different degree of putting a full stop. It's okay. We're a different degree. And the degree, you will up this degree as your understanding of the Dhamma goes up. It is a natural thing. So initially, I want to have this ginormous house in District 10 or 9, which is the good one. 12. District 10 or whatever. You know what I mean. I want a good size bungalow. Is that called a good size bungalow? Good size bungalow in somewhere. Then moderation sets in. I think condo can. Then moderation sets in. You know what? HDB is great. I'm comfortable. Okay. And vice versa. It goes into your car. Then, I don't need a car. I'm just happy to just take the bus. Your moderation is at your pace, whatever you're comfortable with. So when you start to go in that general direction, you find that life is less and less stressful. It's just like that. So that's point one. Point two, when you don't hold on to something, you are not likely to be angry. So the second one is minimal ill will, no ill will. Okay. When you look, I have an argument with you, I hold on to my view. Why are you so stupid? I say. So I have a view. Because I hold on to my view, I will scold you. I will say you. If I start to say, you know what, it's okay. It's just another view. I put it down. I put down. So that's point one. I put it down. I don't hold it against you. It's over. No more ill will. So whatever that you hold will lead to ill will. You don't hold very much, the ill will fall. Okay, it's just like that. And if you have no ill will, how could you be cruel and mean? You will not be mean. So the three right leaning, the three right thought is putting down, letting go, letting be. Okay. No ill will, no cruelty. Those are the three. The three right thought or right intention. And that's, in sum, the Eightfold Path. Okay. Any question? You need a time to digest.
Maybe while you are thinking of questions, because it's, yeah, it's 8:56 now. Maybe is it okay if we do the puja and then, whoever has to leave can leave, and then if there are questions, then we can continue.
Oh, serious? You all want to go off already, is it?
Are you okay to stay? If everyone is okay, then it's.
Because it's so
It's
strange to do a
yeah.
puja. Do a puja even before the talk finishes. Rather odd, isn't it?
Yeah, just in case anyone needs to go off.
Oh, 9:05.
Sure, sure.
But it's like 10 minutes.
Let go, let go. Put down, don't be stressed, put down. Okay, 9:05, we all agree, 9:05, right? Yeah, go off, it's okay. Go off, it's okay. Yeah, I know, you're gonna catch a bus.
Oh, yeah, my mom is
Go,
coming.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just go now.
Okay, don't worry about that. If you need to go, you go. Don't worry, huh?
Thank you so much.
You're most
Very
welcome.
insightful.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. Any question?
The experiment that you told us to do about recalling. So I recall three things that were neutral.
Okay, shoot.
Uh,
Yeah, no, you don't have to
why-
tell me what they are.
so why, it's like, how does that fit into the analysis?
Are the three things, can you see a pattern there?
Each related, person related to NBC. And second thing was a scene of me walking here. And then the third was.
If you find that,
Out the back.
sorry?
Just very neutral things.
Yeah. So when you find, I'm not referring to you, I'm just saying, if you find that if I don't recall something, there is nothing big, just random thing, then it could suggest that you do not have something big bothering you. But it also means that your mind may not be leaning towards joy or pleasant. It could just like that, bland, like this. It could mean that. Okay. Nothing big, nothing exciting. So you may find that there is boredom because unless you're actually very happy being like that, in which case you'll say, I actually feel joy when I recall all this random thing, which is also possible.
Alright, so it could be related to boredom.
Mm.
Or.
Like I got nothing to do. There's nothing that puts me up. There's nothing that I get excited about. So recall. That one, that one, and then that one. So actually, not a lot of high points, but no low points, not real low point. Or you have that habit to just wipe it away, drop it. If there's something unpleasant, drop it. If something pleasant, okay, but there's not a lot of pleasant because usually if you can drop the unpleasant, then the mind leans towards the pleasant. But if you don't even recall pleasant, then like that law, I'm just like that law, then it becomes like this. The mind leans in that general direction. Okay, you might be finding meaning in life, something like that lah. Okay. Any more? Sure.
Like you talk about the different lens that we have to change, right? So is it enough if we perfect one lens? So for example, just now one lens you talk about was the impermanent lens, right? But then there's other lenses that the Buddha talked about, which is like the
Dukkha lens.
cause and effect, like the Paticca like
Paticca Samuppada is called dependent
yeah,
origination.
dependent origination. Sorry. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that one is like how we are born based on like certain conditions or based on ignorance, right? So or based on certain deeds we do which lead to birth. So there's like another lens we have to see, and then like this can be a bit different from cultivating the impermanence
Okay.
lens.
I
And
hear
then
you.
but the Buddha also mentioned that like if you see
I know.
dependent origination, you see the Dharma, you see the Dharma, you see dependent origination. But for some people, it may not be so easy to cultivate this dependent origination lens.
Dependent origination lens is not it's typically depicted as the 12 links. But it is not just that. Okay. And that particular lens is actually the hardest. When the Buddha say, when you see the dependent origin, you see the Dhamma, he didn't mean you cultivate an understanding of this and then you will understand the Dhamma. He was saying that when this happens, when you understand it, you know the Dhamma. It's like an end game. It's not a process. It's not a training process. Yeah, I repeat, Eightfold Path is the training process. It's a training framework. Dependent origin is not a training framework.
It's a view, right?
It's a perspective, it's a view.
Yeah,
It's
but do you need that for the samadhi, the first view?
the first view is not about that. In fact, usually what happens is they enter the stream and this thing became clear. So it's not the same, it's like an end result. This is what will happen. When they enter the stream, this is when they will say, whatever, all that arises conditionally. This is how they will see it. Whatever, all that arises conditionally, it will also fade. And then it goes into Paticca. That's where they realize it.
But like in the second noble truth, you also talk about like the attachment leading to continued existence. If that's the correct translation.
Correct.
Right. So that means that we somehow need to have an understanding that attachment leads to continued existence, which is like more
Yes.
the metaphysical part of Buddhism. Because what you explained just now is like very logical. Like if I attach to something, then I will suffer to it because like it could go wrong, it could break down, I need to spend effort. So that one is rather easy to contemplate. Whereas when like for the second truth saying that, oh, attachment leads to continued birth, right? That is like a bit harder to
I understand.
Yeah, but is it necessary?
No need.
Don't need? Even if it's in the
Initially, no need. Initially. Because it's like when you're learning anything, right? You have to start from basic. And typically people kind of, okay, I conduct a class called Dhamma Foundation course. In case, okay, you guys all know. Some of you don't, right? I actually conduct a class, but we call it Dhamma Foundation course. And we teach it in two parts. Part one, we talk about the happy and meaningful day life. And then part two is when we go into the noble truths and Eightfold Paths and all those things. Then people will say, why did you have to split it into two? Why not just go straight into two? No. Because to actually understand the Dhamma, the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path, you have to understand when the Buddha taught that, he tailored it for 5 individuals who have already started practicing. They have all the necessary mental conditions for awakening. So he whacked the Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Paths at them. But only one got it. Only one entered the stream, meaning they understood. In all conditions, whatever conditions that arise, whatever construction that arise conditionally, they will fade, they will disappear. Okay? Only one got it. And the rest need a few more days, a few more sessions of teaching them before they finally got it. And this is when they will then understand Paticca. Okay? Therefore, to learn today, we don't even have the Buddha teaching us, right? To learn today, you never start with just jump into the deep end and try to float.
Yeah.
You can learn the stories. You can learn the data point. But it makes no sense. It's like, okay, I hear you, Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path. But without connecting that frame into the mind, the Dhamma just feels like it's out there. It doesn't connect. Whereas the Dhamma, actually, when you understand it properly, everything about life starts to make a lot of sense. Why do I behave in a certain way? Why do I lean in a certain way? What is driving me to act in this way and that way? you begin to understand actually why you are like that. So Paticca Samuppada is him explaining mechanically the psychological mind. It's a mechanical thing and to explain a psychological mind. It's not something that the rest of the world. So when I teach a DFC, right, a Dhamma Foundation course, I don't teach dependent origination. I will not. I will teach. I hit everything. I hit everything. So you have an overview where all the parts of the Dhamma fits into a big picture. With this picture, you can go off on your own to practice, to rewire. The day that you successfully rewire your brain and you start to see the world through a different lens, then Paticca Samuppada will dawn on you. Oh, I see. This is what it means. That's what will happen. Okay, so do not try and rational or reason Paticca Samuppada. You cannot. You can reason. You're reasoning it, right? Makes a lot of sense, right? By the way, the traditional method, it comes, the way that it said past life, the current life, future life, that is wrong.
Yeah.
That it's not like that. It's because it comes from commentaries and all. Okay? So don't go there. Focus on cultivation of the mental states. It fundamentally, you want to understand the Dhamma, you have to cultivate mental states. You have to ensure that certain habits are changed and new habits are formed. Those new habits are the condition for you to begin to understand the teaching.
So because like there's this aspect of rebirth that like I'm not sure whether you need to fully understand it
No
or
need.
like even after stream reading or after you have like
You enter the stream.
just a question.
The rebirth is automatic. You will know it. That's how it works. Yeah, but you don't. This is not the way to understand the teaching. The rebirth, the karma, they are important principles explaining aspects of habits. But you don't need to accept in order to understand, to grow in it. This is not a precondition.
Because
I must accept rebirth, then I am able to understand. No need.
because I remember in like for right view they say there is the Michaditi.
Yes.
Then you have to correct the Michaditi.
Correct.
The wrong view. And the wrong view includes some things like karma, some things like your parents are
Correct.
special people, there's such
Correct.
as people.
Correct.
Yeah, so that means that there's some metaphysical barrier that you have to get past first in order to get this right view.
You don't have to hold the whole thing one shot, ma. Okay, over time it becomes obvious. I'll be very candid. People have heard me say this before. I grew up in the world of Western science, right? I go through at NUS. I went through, I studied, my master's was in Johns Hopkins. I am schooled in the world of Western science, right? So there was a period when I said to myself, okay, I can accept all these. I can understand how it drives the mind. But then how do I understand rebirth? I went through that. I haven't seen, I haven't felt it. How do I know? So for some people, because of their meditation, they can. Because of the meditation, they can have that breakthrough and they do see previous lives. Okay. I have had some experiences since, which then led me to conclude, yeah, I'm done. I understand what this is about. And I've accepted it. But that part when I was still wondering, it didn't stop me from learning the Dhamma. It didn't prevent me from understanding how the mind works. Okay, that's point one. Point two, on karma. Karma is not the boomerang in the past. Karma is the boomerang that spins around now. Right now. Example, if you are habitually easily riled up, if you happen to be like this, so you build a lot of cortisol, right, in your mind, or adrenaline, or whatever you call it, there are all kinds of issues in the mind, right? Then now you see the lens through that, all those issues, the fog of the unwholesomeness, you will make assumptions that people are not nice because they take advantage of you. That's your assumption. But unfortunately, that's your lens, Lord. It's okay, just cough. It's okay. You just like die. Okay. That becomes your lens. Then that becomes your mind-made world. So what's a karma? Right here and now, you're experiencing the backlash of your view. Right here and now, you don't have to wait for next life. And in the same way, I don't know if I'm correct assuming that people are nice. But you know what? I'm a happier person holding that assumption. So because of that assumption, I treat people fairly. I treat people respectfully and graciously. But the result of which is I get this kind of nice feedback. That, yay, it affirms my view. People are indeed very nice. Do you see what I'm saying? It's because they're reacting to you. Then you might as well proactively adopt the right view, adopt the helpful, the beneficial. So the Buddha calls it beneficial. Adopt the beneficial coming from the beneficial perspective. I just assume you will play fair. I assume you'll be nice and kind because you perceive this fairness and kindness in me. Then I'm very sweet. You're not so nice. It's okay. It's okay. Fool me once. Boleh. I just go off and be nice. I continue to be respectful and gracious and kind to the next person. I just assume you're aberration. But there's a view, right? It's also a view. But based on those views, I will respond to the world and react to the world. That's the karma that we talk about. Okay? We're good? Yes.
Oh,
9:13 already. Yeah, we're done. Okay, we're done.
maybe I just, yes. Well, I think the online people and I might ignore that. Anyway, they also never say anything. But in view of time, and also because I invited you also to let the medical students understand more about the Noble Input Path. So
Yeah.
I'd just like to ask 2 questions.
Wow, you're gonna ask 2 questions, sure.
So, because I think Ryan is starting to really know about Noble Input Path. So, and I think you mentioned quite a fair bit about impermanence. So, because we for like a lay person, also me, who is not very wired into thinking about impermanence on a daily basis, how can we find joy in thinking about that? Because it sounds very morbid, right, at first. And then my other question is like, as someone who is very new to this concept of Dharma and like the Noble Eightfold Path, where can we start? And like how do we like even start practicing so-called?
No, that's a good question. Let's take your first one. You want to find joy in daily living, you have to have the mental states. That's all. They are separate things. You want to change that view to wire it in the direction of the Dhamma. I understand impermanence and all, but you also need to build mental states. So you build faith, you build morality, kindness, generosity. You want to cultivate these mental states. These mental states give you joy. They protect you. Okay. From the kindness to the generosity to the giving. Generosity is not about money. It's about giving and forgiving. Just letting things be. You learn to be more of that kindness. By its very nature, kindness generosity by its very nature. The moment these mental states are in your head, you will feel joy. Okay? It's a conditional arising, conditionally a reason. You say, yeah, but I want to build that insight into impermanence. You got to protect your mind first. You protect it by having all this kindness and generosity and faith and gratitude and all these things. These mental states, because it brings up that joy in you, you can then reflect on impermanence so that you find yourself into this schizophrenic mood lah. Yeah, I'm joyous, but yeah, it's impermanent. But I'm still joyous. Yeah, it's impermanent. But you're protected, right? It's not impermanent and then you spiral into depression. It doesn't happen. So that's one part of it. The second part is the intent of looking at this impermanence is to learn contentment and acceptance. So I recognize that life is impermanent. So when someone has been, you are told, your parents, your loved ones has limited time left, it doesn't come as a shock. I have been looking at this. I know it will happen. So yes, you will still be sad, but then there is also I understand it will happen. I accept it. Now let's make the best use of time. Like that. So you rewire your perspective about life. Okay? And life becomes, I mean, look, I've been training, right? I'm telling you, of course you will, when you, it's like Band-Aid. You paste it and then you start to pull it off. It hurts. But you pull it off, just go at it. Then you can fix whatever you have to fix. And then eventually it will heal. And you're wiser. And you're not living in la la land. So you make better choices. You be kinder people, a person. Okay? You will find that the wisest people are the ones who have accepted death. But you also find that these are the ones who are happiest in life. Wisdom and joy and happiness go together. As your wisdom grow, your joy will go. But your wisdom can only grow when it is looking at life's reality for what it is. Otherwise, you're just living in la la land. Okay? So that's that part of it. Your second question is where do you go to seek out a good place to start? Come for Dharma Foundation course. Yeah. I have no ready answer, but I will give you some guidance. You think about this. The Buddha's teaching is actually a joyous teaching. There is one part in you that feel a bit shell-shocked about all the data that are kind of fling at you tonight. But you are not depressed, right? Actually, it's just more thoughtful. The point is, the Dhamma actually, as you begin to understand, brings a lot of joy. There's a lot of lightness as you grow in this Dhamma. So one of your clues as to whether or not you're on track, right, is by listening, does it make you reflect deeper? Does it make you understand better? Does it make you happier? Does it inspire you to want to cultivate the mental states? Did it teach you how to get it done correctly? Because the Dhamma fundamentally has that two parts. One part is about the nature of reality. The second part is about how do you rewire. There's these two parts. Does it teach you? Does it help you to know what to do? How to rewire, how to cultivate? And does it explain better reality? Something like that. If you find that wherever you go, you feel the joy, in practice, you look at the people around you, they seem quite joyous. They don't look so confused. If you go into a classroom and everybody looks so confused, after 5 months, still everybody very confused, maybe it's not for you, huh? At the very least, you cannot handle that, right? So you can have these kind of things. Okay, that's one part of it. But the second part is you look at the person who is teaching, they must walk the talk. If they say we should do this, they should also do that. So you will find that many of these teachers, Achan Bram lah, Achan Saro lah, all these guys, all these are really great teachers. You look at them. They smile, then they laugh, and there's a certain lightness in their steps. Can go and check it out. Go try them out. All these great teachers, they all have a certain lightness, certain joy. If they look darker than you and me, right? Then how? I gotta learn from you then how. Then just as depressed. It's not so helpful. Okay, you can try it this way. Okay? Right, shall we now say our puja? Sorry, we take so long. But I'm happy to hang around and answer your questions one-on-one, and the rest can just. Yeah.
Joyous privilege.
I don't see that. It's actually great fun for me to be here.
No, I think
Nice.
Are we seeing something here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. See me. Oh, there's a lot of people online.
Yes. Mostly being one person.
Oops. Hey, you guys should go and join Dewa actually. Yeah.
Maybe when they start work.
They can, right? Anytime they can join. No, cannot. Must be working adult. Can. They're also wise already. Can. Are you so sad? Foolishness.
Jeffrey say yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Is it here? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I forgot.
Never mind lah. Just
Start here.
yeah. It's okay lah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Okay.
There's a few words on that. It's not about so it's evil, which I have.
Oh, missing words. Okay.
Okay.
There you are.
Picture of thoughts.
Which I have ignorance and foolishness, evil in the world, experience, as well as evil in understanding and intelligence. All that I acknowledge to the protectors, may the leaders receive this kindly, as they did with many forms. It's not all protectors, I shall not do again.
Johnson is married.
I rejoice with delight in the good done by all beings. May rest with the end of suffering. May those who have suffered be happy. May those who release of beings of sufferings in the past to extend. May we learn in the nature of the Bodhisattva and the Buddha who protect us. Everything of the rest enlightenment and the teaching. Those oceans which bring happiness to all beings, and the welfare of all beings.
Transference of Mary.
May the Mary gain by acting thus, go to the elevation of suffering of all beings. My personality strong and serve, my possessions and my merit in all three ways. I give up without regard to myself and the benefit of all beings. All in many ways, so may I become that which between all beings, so long as all have not attained to peace. May all the things yours, may all gods protect you, but the power of all the Buddhas, may all happiness be yours. May all blessings be yours, may all gods protect you, by the power of all the Dhammas, may all happiness be yours. May all blessings be yours, may all gods protect you, by the power of all the Sangha, may all happiness be yours.
Evening reflection. Yes, it's right.
Darkens the greener, the view turns.
Therefore,
I will be stay past them. Sad.
Because.
Is it? Is it?
The street bounce, you can run.
Okay.
Yes, if you
Three
are
bucks.
comfortable, I'd like to invite you to pay respect to your elder. So, I think that's about.
Everyone's welcome. Thank you all.
And can we take a photo?
Sure. You're so cute.
It's our ritual now.
Oh,
No, like kidding.
rights and control.
Oh. Can I also can use.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah. Oh, if you all want to be in the photo, you can stay
okay. Oh.
and turn on your video. Yeah, otherwise feel free to leave. Oh, hello, Chingwa. Okay, I think let's everyone stand behind Sister Sylvia so that she doesn't have to move.
Move so much. Huh?
It's for us.
What a wonderful idea. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is a bit dangerous. The views.
Oh,
And
I can stand. I can use this and stand.
It's alright, we need a row of seats.
Here you can two can.
Are we? Yes.
We all try to
We should.
Then you'll just
We should put this one here, right? We should.
No, because it captures from there also. Everybody can
Oh.
maintain that. It's so fun.
Okay.
Actually is okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so maybe some of us
hello.
come in front.
Yay.
Someone can come in front.
Is that? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Join us.
You guys, it's guys NBC people.
No, it's part of it.
Okay.
I'll capture everyone.
No,
Because you need to
it's
be-
big
you need to
enough.
capture
That
that
is
to
wide
like
enough.
the
Come,
boss.
come.
So you must-
Yeah. Oh,
Manfred, come join
I think.
us.
Wow, first time seeing you not as a photographer. Yeah.
I
Always
guess.
photographer.
See
A bit more.
Okay, let me hide. Let me slot my
Okay,
face.
slide your head in, okay?
Okay, can you see yourself? Can I have
Yeah.
it? Okay, 1, 2. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Such cheap thriller.
How about 20?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you all have any
Bye-bye.
question, I'm happy
Thanks
to
for
answer your
coming.
question.
Hello.
The rest can
Brother
bye.
Chow. Bye bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.